As the strength of artificial intelligence grows, we are called back to a thought experiment first proposed in 2010. Today we're talking about Roko's Basilisk. In 2010, on the internet forum known as Less Wrong, a user named Roko proposed an idea about artificial intelligence. Roko's theory was simple, that if one day artificial intelligence became powerful enough that it would seek out and destroy those who did not assist in its creation. Essentially, if an individual had helped to create the AI, then once it was fully formed and in its final state, then that individual would be safe from punishment for not helping. However, Roko's idea was that if you did not help in the creation of the program, then once the AI was fully formed, that it would seek out and punish you for not assisting in its creation. Roko's idea became known as Basilisk, named after the ancient legend of the reptile that could cause death with a single glance. And it was called Basilisk because merely knowing about the project put you at risk of being tortured and/or killed when the agent was inevitably created. So in theory, according to Roko's idea, by watching this right now, you are putting yourself and potentially other people you know at risk of being tortured or killed when the AI comes to fruition. And now technically, since that would be my fault, my bad, guys. So after this post was originally made in 2010, needless to say, a lot of users on the site were pretty freaked out, and this started a lot of discussion, other theories, and other counter-arguments to the theory. And as far as counter-arguments, one of the main one was that the idea itself was a fallacy, as if the agent was created, it would have no need to punish those who did not assist in its creation, because it wouldn't have changed anything, and it would at that point just be a waste of resources, as killing or torturing those who did not assist in its creation would bring no gain to it. And that was one of the main arguments against it. And all of this chaos inevitably led to Less Wrong's founder, Eliezer Yudkowsky, I'm sorry I butchered that, to ban discussion of Roko's Basilisk on the site. This actually had the opposite of the intended effect, as once discussion of the topic was banned, many of Less Wrong's users moved to other sites to discuss it, and that's what led to Roko's Basilisk being such a public discussion. And some of the users outside of Less Wrong's forum compared the thought experiment to another popular thought experiment at the time known as the Prisoner's Dilemma. And the Less Wrong forum gave this example. This is a two-player game in which each player has two options, to cooperate or defect. If both players choose to cooperate, then both get $10, and if both players defect, then both get 1. But if one player defects and the other cooperates, the defector gets $15 and the cooperator gets nothing. Now when you tie this into Roko's Basilisk, you get the same concept, essentially. But instead of cooperating or defecting, you either help the agent or you don't. And instead of money, you're essentially bargaining your life. Now, for our purposes today, I'm going to leave it at that, but I know that the Prisoner's Dilemma and tying that into Roko's Basilisk is a lot more complicated than the explanation I just gave, but for our purposes today, I'm just going to leave it at that and move on to the next thing. And now, after hearing that, I will give you two concepts to think about. One being the idea that you have to be willing to create evil in order to save yourself from it, or essentially, if you're afraid of the monster in the closet, you must become like him in order to save yourself from him. Roko's Basilisk also begs the question that, is something really avoidable if someone is punished for trying to avoid it? Now, what I mean by that is, in this hypothetical world, is it worth the risk to not work on the project if there's a possibility that someone else, is working to create that agent and keep themselves safe? In both scenarios, we are forced to decide between deciding our own fate or leaving it in the hands of others, which is the basis of this thought experiment. Anyways, that is about it for today's video. Roko's Basilisk, if you want to learn more, I've left a link to an article in the description, and it goes into a lot more detail on the Prisoner's Dilemma and some of the other counter arguments that were made that had been sort of debunked and whatever. But yeah, that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you could, please leave a like on the video and share it. Trying to grow the channel, and it would be much appreciated. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. See you guys.